So, welcome back. We're talking Lazarus. We're really not talking Lazarus effect. I can't talk, and I'm not even drinking.
We're about to take these shots.
We are going to take a shot.
What podcast are we on?
Reincarnation / DC comic books, it looks like.
We're Para-Chum Productions doing Chumming With The Spirits.
We are.
Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We are chumming.
We are definitely chumming. You are chumming real good.
And tonight's a free-for-all.
No, I think we're trying to keep it in some zagged line.
Yeah,
we wouldn't pass a sobriety test, but we're moving.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to fuck with my psyche. And it's working.
We just showed him naked pictures of girls, and he had no idea. All right, let's do this.
First time I've ever seen one. That's good
God, they had
butterscotch.
butterscotch flavor in it.
That went down.
Wonderful.
I thought you cleaned it out on Mary when you splashed them with the holy.
Yeah.
I did the little holy blessing of the getting the demons out of his ass and his throat.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time, my man. A lot of cleansing. So we're talking a little bit about reincarnation, I think is what we're going to stay the subject on. Right?
That's what we're trying.
Okay.
Because we covered, up to people coming back
From the dead and who...
which isn't really reincarnation, but it's like the first step of the process, right? It's
So,
like where we go.
So let me kick it off with a question for y'alls.
Y'all.
Okay? If reincarnation is in fact a viable option of sustaining life, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Say a person dies. They go to heaven. They're put in a line and they're given the option of reincarnation or just going off to heaven and being happy for the rest of the days or right? No.
I like where you're going with this. This is good so far.
Say they choose reincarnation, right?
Okay.
Is it a random act of God how they get reincarnated, or do they get to choose?
Wow, Larry,
I want your guys' opinions. I know there's no scientific basis for an actual plausible answer.
From what I have seen and what I believe, I think reincarnation does happen, but you don't get a choice. You're sent back down
until you get it right.
Until you get it right. There's something, because like my grandmother was always considered an old soul. You meet people like Juan. You just meet him and you feel like you've known him forever.
Is that deja vu?
I think some of it, because like there's theories that there's
that's
so many souls
that's part of reincarnation.
Part
right?
of reincarnation that you end up interacting with people that you've had some experience in the past life, and you feel good. But there's new souls, there's old souls. There's some that are at the end of the journey that they've learned everything that they're supposed to do.
So you're saying there's a reincarnation limit?
No, because if you keep fucking it up, you're going to keep on coming back. I mean,
I'm screwed.
So you and I are in a loop.
Yeah, so
we are intertwined for
we're in hell.
The
end of time.
In other religions, they believe, depending on how well you lived your life, it depends on what animal or whether or not you come back, or because ultimately the goal is to ascend to the next plane, whether that be heaven or eternal life, however you want to determine. But there is. It's a lesson process, and like we don't get a chance.
So what you're saying is reincarnation is plausible, but there's not lines when you die where. So not only do you not get to choose how you're reincarnated, you don't get to choose whether you're reincarnated or continue on to heaven.
We don't know.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, like if you are to be reincarnated, you don't get a choice. You're just you're there.
Because it reminds me of that guy's story of the podcast we listened to, where he was on his journey through heaven, and he came across that giant dormitory, of babies.
Yeah.
And he asked, like, "What's that about?"
Well, yeah. What's this building for? Yeah.
And they said it's
tore me up, by the way.
The reincarnation building. It's souls that haven't been born yet.
Well, I believe that was the baby. That's the place where all the babies that were terminated.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're
So
waiting. They're waiting to be
But I think they were older though. I mean, they grew at a slower pace, if I remember that correctly.
Like Benjamin Button.
No, they're like babies. Well, that's also time.
And here comes the chumming. This is called the chumming effect, people.
Yeah. because there's no time frame. Like time doesn't theoretically exist in that realm. Because you might think you've been gone for years and it's seconds, well, I mean, they talk about that with
in space, right? I mean,
yeah.
you have twins. One of the twins goes up in space for a while and he comes back down. He's drastically looks much younger than the guy down on Earth.
So I have
more chumming.
a very interesting question that's bugging me.
Everything bugs you, but anyways.
We are still straight.
No, so reincarnation, you don't get a choice. You're reincarnated if you haven't accomplished the universe's journey.
I don't know. We don't know that.
I think
No. That's where I'm going with
That's
this.
his theory. Okay.
You got to let me finish.
He's
my thoughts.
prefacing his thoughts based off of that.
It's not like
theory.
you were finished. That's how you hurt your shoulder.
That's what she said. Oh, wow. I just got that one.
You look chumming. You're chumming.
Is there any historical evidence or proof, and is it possible that when you're reincarnated as someone in the distant past?
Not in the past.
Why not?
Okay, so you're saying if he was Helen of Troy, and
No,
he
no.
dies tomorrow and comes back,
Like
he's gonna be Helen of Troy again?
No, I'm saying
like
he
I
dies.
die now and go back to be
Helen of Troy.
No, I don't think that's how it works.
Time doesn't exist in heaven.
Yeah, but that's the difference between.
Well, you're no, come on, you're trying to make something out of nothing.
So what you're trying to say is to go backwards, and that's. I'm not saying that you can't go back and relive past lives and see stuff, but there's been nothing. So. Nothing that I know of or been documented of somebody coming back and saying, "Oh, I other than time travel,
Right?
That they got knocked out and they saw something in the future."
But how do we know that there's not, and people just haven't talked about it?
Well, I mean, in theory, how do these people that got knocked out didn't actually die and have a life after death experience and come back and they saw the future, like his sister?
Reincarnation.
But again,
Well, that's more of a coming back from life. That's not
Yeah.
really a reincarnation instant.
so what you're trying to imply is
Still
it's
her
possible
body,
to go,
her soul, and
to be die now and then go back in time. No one's ever said that, but there
Circle
are,
of life.
Well, there is circle of lives, and there's multiple documentations of people having past memories. There is a female that became an Egyptologist, or what do they call it? They do, like, she literally
Archaeologists?
Well, yeah, but there's specifically to Egypt. She was from the United States. She just recently, I think, passed away like 5 or 6 years ago.
Is this the lady who
The
thought she
Bembridge?
was Cleopatra or Isis or something like that?
She knew who Ramsey was.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
She ended
Yeah,
up,
that was phenomenal.
I think they're called the Bembridge Scholars or something like that.
I don't know, but anyway, she had kept on having memories of the Ramses temple, which wasn't found. She ended up going into study for Egyptology, went to Egypt, found it, helped them explain what was in the gardens, because she could remember what plants and all that, and actually started working for the Egypt historical program. She died when she was 70, but she I don't think she believed she was Cleopatra, but she believed she lived during that time frame.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that's one of the. And you're right. She remembered the Ramses and everything, the Pharaoh, if you will. Yeah, that
and
was
the temple, and found it and helped them excavate it.
I only saw parts of that. I wish I could have seen the whole thing, because I think that'd be an amazing thing to watch.
There's been kids.
Did you just squeeze your Coke? Okay. Don't. Freaking me out.
Are you there? Give me 3 knocks. Sorry. But where we're at?
But those are reincarnations. So keep in mind, there's thousands of years between that reincarnation.
Yeah.
So why did she remember that one, or did she just skip? Her soul skipped that long, and then came back down. We don't know.
Well, we know time is like.
Yeah, it could be anything. Because there's others that there was a boy that kept on talking about
being a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And knew where his grave was, and there's a bunch of stuff that he should not have been able to know.
That's pretty compelling, right?
Yeah.
Stuff that. How do you know? How would he know that?
There's no reason why he should have been able to know that.
I
But
agree.
he did. Oh, and being able to pick out people saying who their name was.
Yeah.
Unless they're being visited by ghosts.
Is there
Life after
ever...
death?
No.
Yeah, there is.
Okay. So, I don't know how I'm going to even possibly explain this, but...
Without sounding weird.
Without sounding weird. Okay. So, say there's a 70-year-old named Pablo. All right?
Escobar.
Sure.
Why can't it be just like Oscar or something?
He dies when a young boy named Escobar is 7 years old.
Oh.
That boy has a traumatic, like, near-death experience and whatnot. And when he comes back from that, believes he is Pablo. Have you ever heard of anything like that happening?
No.
To where...
I know what you're trying to say.
To where he goes and tries to find the people that are still alive and tell them, hey, you know, I'm your husband. Type of thing.
So there is a movie that's been remade a couple times about this. It's about a guy being taken to heaven before his time. He wasn't actually supposed to be
Heaven
killed.
Can Wait.
Heaven Can Wait. That's it. And he ends up...
Was that with Robert Downey Jr.?
No. It's...
Unless there's a remark.
Yeah,
They're going to give you
No,
RDJ.
it was from the 80s.
Yeah. Well, there's a 70s version and an 80s version of it. But he ends up going back into a body of somebody that just died. And he had all his memories up until they decided that was a good fit for him. And then he reverted back to the person.
He got a second chance. That was with Warren Beatty, by the way.
Yeah, Warren Beatty. But there's one before that one.
Because the one I'm thinking of is with Robert Downey Jr. and the old man dies, is married to this woman, and he's given a choice. Hey, in heaven, do you want to be reincarnated? And he's like, yes. And they're like, we have a suitable position for you. Let me just push this button so you'll forget everything that you've ever known. And he's like, hey, look at that thing over there, and runs away. And comes back with all the memories in Robert Downey Jr.'s body.
Isn't that when she's an older
woman?
She's older, and I think it's a lady from Moonlight.
Yes, it is.
Sybil Shepherd.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
And he's like, I'm your husband.
Yeah, I saw this like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
No, it's
But no,
back when RDJ was still doing cocaine and shooting up battery acid
So,
and shit like that.
As far as I'm aware of, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I'm not aware of that type of reincarnation happening. It has been talked about in movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know,
And it's a great screenwrite, right?
It's a phenomenal,
it's fun, it's entertaining, and stuff like
plot.
that. But
it also goes back to that, your soul and your body are two separate things. So your soul could leave, and then you have this vessel that can be inhabited by another soul, is what you're implying. So somebody else could go in there, and that would explain the different personality or traits or...
Yeah.
I agree, and you're right. There's nothing saying that you go back in time. Not saying that could not happen. I'm not, because like you said,
who was the one that did talked about the outer body experience and let Jesus take the wheel?
Carrie Underwood?
No, is it Shirley MacLaine?
Temple?
No, Shirley MacLaine. She did a movie that was like way out there. She talked about out of body experiences and how God is not what we think it is, and then you have multiple levels. But one of the things she talked about is like you could do outer body experiences, but you have a silver tether to your body, and that's how you get back into your body. But if that cord ever gets severed, you float off, and you're not attached to your mortal body anymore. But something else could theoretically hop back into that body.
Possession.
Mm-hmm. And you had to be careful. There's like anything else. Because there's other not conspiracy theories, but theories out there of why do demons want to possess humans? Then usually why do they try to then make them commit suicide or kill themselves? There's got to be some reason to have a body, because they've never had one. I mean, that's why Jesus cast them out of the people and into the swines, and when they went into the pigs, they ran off the cliff and killed themselves.
Look at my man. Knows some stuff now.
Because I was going to ask, would that be considered demonic possession? Would be considered demonic reincarnation?
Well, and that's one of the theories. Like, when they say you're not supposed to speak with the dead, it's one of the rules, and it's not because Because then it goes, well, you can't speak of the dead because, ghosts don't really
Talk.
Well, they don't really follow the rules of most Christianity. But the real thing was to warn people who don't know what you're talking to. It doesn't have to be, that was like a rat or something.
That was weird.
But it's a warning. Like there's stories of the...
Rats in my house.
They're very big.
That's my bulldog.
But like there's a particular demon name pops up on Ouija boards a whole bunch.
Yeah, which we're not going to talk about.
Zozo.
We're not going to talk
about it. Anyways, so that's what we're talking about there. As you talked about that empty husk.
That sounded weird.
The husk of like Frankenstein. If they could make all the nerves and all that, that's a vessel. That's you get into golems. When you make a vessel for something to.
Well, that's what he was anyway. He was a flesh golem, right?
Boom. Going back to that, Frankenstein. Is it possible that if that is ever able to be accomplished, that what happened was a demon possessed that body?
There's also
because it was reanimated.
There's also implications that there's just nothing there, not that there is no moral code. Most people think if a demon hopped in it, they would do malicious things all the time.
But when you think about it, demons don't have a moral code, right?
They do. They're generally trying to destroy things, corrupt people, not necessarily kill. Like that's the one thing. When we talk about demon possessions and all that, yes, sometimes they drive people crazy, but it's usually not to kill themselves. It's to kill others, to do harm to and corrupt things, to spread that influence.
It's about corruption. Absolutely. It's about chaos.
Versus, not having morality. He didn't know, you shouldn't kill the bunny rabbit, or, you're not supposed to step on a cat or...
Okay.
I'm going to get smoked with Bigfoot.
You would. Red Rocket.
Red Rocket.
Yeah, no, it's a very fine line.
For somebody who plays around with divot boxes...
I don't play around with them. I just take them if they're
empty.
Empty.
If you think they are. I'm just saying that that's... We talk about spirits and all that.
Okay, wait a minute. You have a divot box in your apartment?
Maybe.
And it's opened?
Maybe. I didn't open it.
Yeah, it was open before you got it.
And this is... I'm assuming some idiot gave it to you?
No, I asked for it.
Really?
If you have a cursed item, you can almost always give it to any baby because they'll just take it right from you. That's just...
Baby Huey.
I was just saying, here you go, Larry. I found this weird box.
I am the walrus.
So this explains why activity picks up in my house when you're here.
How do you know it was real? Supposedly these guys got it off of eBay.
Okay, well, possibly. But what we do know for a fact, if we do the data on this, every time you're over, some stupid shit happens in my house.
Yeah, but it doesn't always happen while I'm here.
Besides Larry's physical appearance. Besides him farting and burping and wiping his ass.
Why does everything always have to be my fault?
Because nothing happens until you're here.
That's bullshit, because you've told us numerous stories of stuff that happened while I'm not here.
Okay.
Just because you drop your baggage off here doesn't mean it doesn't stay.
But what we believe that I saw was his passing. Well, when you come over, we see stuff peeking out and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Did we talk about that on film yet?
What?
Your apartment and what we saw?
No. We want to do that real quick?
It's probably... we are about a paranormal, and we're really beating this reincarnation thing pretty badly because we really didn't do much investigating on it.
We're beating it
but
like Diddy.
Props to you. You're keeping it
I'm
going.
trying.
No, and God bless you that you're smart enough to do that because obviously me and Larry's not.
What the fuck? I'm not smart enough to do that?
Well, obviously not. So let's start.
Wow.
We'll get Para-Chum some of those Bible story books so you can read and catch up.
Some children ones.
Yeah, take out pictures.
David and Goliath is a very good one. There were lots
which
of
is supposed
giants
to
in the
be-
Bible.
Which is supposed to be a descendant of Nephilim.
Nephilims.
Nephilim's a hybrid.
So is that what we're talking about now?
No.
I thought we were going to
You
cover...
are a giant, my man. You are a giant. No, let's talk about
Let's talk about some recent things.
let's talk about Larry's apartment.
Well, let's talk about Larry. Well, Para-Chum in general.
So I'll
attracting things.
I will start off by saying I have not had anything happen since the last time Jeremy was over.
You're welcome.
Oh, wait a minute. So, are you saying that Jeremy is pulling one on us, and it's actually Jeremy?
Is what?
It's Jeremy that's bringing all this shit happening.
I never said that.
No, he's saying that I have such a godly presence that nothing has bothered him since I've been there.
Yeah, just imagine if you were over at my apartment
I was.
Once. Late at night.
I threw up. My head started spinning. It was horrible.
So it all started way back when I was a little boy.
Holy cow!
So there's a
I
short
haven't heard this.
there's a short video of somebody editing.
So
doing a TikTok.
the first I've been in my apartment almost 1 year. November 1st will be the 1 year mark
Yeah, man.
in my new apartment. I know, right?
I mean, that's fast.
It is.
He just moved there.
I know.
Yeah, a year ago.
So how long have we been doing this?
This?
Because you were in your old apartment that one day we were watching.
Been doing this for over
we were
a year
watching
now.
vampires on my TV with your buddy Jason.
Today was the 15th episode that we released. So 15 weeks that we've been doing this.
No, keep in mind we don't film every week though.
No, but I'm saying
I know.
today was the 15th week of.
If you go back to the first few that we kind of talked about,
Oh, that was years ago.
Yeah, that was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. But that, from what I'm talking about, was the first
Actual-
episode released.
Yeah, actually chumming with the spirits, because like that was a like we were talking about that could be a good name for a podcast
Yeah.
and all that. with
It's
Jason.
only been about 3 months.
And which brings up, when is Jason going to come on here?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But getting back to what you wanted me to talk about,
Yeah, let's talk about you and your evilness.
Mr. Side Tracker
Oh, I'm the sidetracker.
Plopper Whopper.
I thought he drunk
Mr. Whopper.
I bet if I was drunk, that'd be really funny.
So the first thing I ever experienced in the new apartment that I'm in, the first thing I experienced was I was sitting in my living room watching TV one night, and I figured out what the cause of this was. It's not paranormal.
And what are we talking about?
Because I thought it was paranormal at the time. I was sitting in my living
I saw it
room.
later.
He
on video.
debunked it.
Yeah, he debunked it. Anyway, sorry.
You didn't see this on video. I was sitting in my living room watching TV, and everything off in my bedroom was off, and my bedroom's just a straight shot down the hall from where I sit in my living room, and it was dark. And I saw my TV and my computer turn back on, and I was like, "What the hell?" Remember me telling you about this?
Yeah.
I found out that my TV is set up that if I had my PlayStation on and I turned my PlayStation off, but not my TV still thinks the PlayStation's connected and will restart the PlayStation and turn everything back on. So I have to turn both of them off.
Okay.
So that's what caused that.
Scientists at work.
So fast forward a couple months later, I was sitting in my bedroom working on the computer, and I was staring down the hallway. Well, I was facing the hallway towards the living room where my chair is, and my chair is kind of sideways from where I'm seeing. And I just got this weird feeling.
Is this the one on video?
No.
Okay.
I got this weird feeling, so I looked up just to see, like, what the fuck was going on, and there was a shadow of a person sitting in the chair in my living room.
Yeah, which we talked
Just facing straight forward.
real quick. Is this before or after you got your debit box?
Here he is.
Oh, I got the Dybbuk box years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apologize.
Oh,
Go ahead.
wait till you find out about the ashes in the closet.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit
Just
about
keep,
that.
just,
He's going to fill us all in.
yeah. My name's not Juan, so stop cutting me off.
Whoa! Juan, again, we'd like to apologize
Publicly.
for doing that to you.
So the shadow figure was just, and it wasn't like I could see like it was a male or.
But it was
female.
sitting in your chair.
It was like a shadow. It looked like something sitting in my chair.
And you didn't video it.
No. And I was just like, huh, didn't see that. And went back to work. And the next time I looked up a couple hours later, there was nothing.
Because you were editing this stuff.
That's the second time. The second time you got it on video.
Yeah. As I will get to. Again,
Hence the second time.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm just listening.
No, you're not.
I'm trying to absorb this story.
Absorb with mouth closed.
Wow.
I'm just fucking with you.
Don't ever touch me again.
I didn't touch you. So the next, a couple months later, I was again editing, and I was filming a TikTok to say, hey, these are the updates. Did you see something?
No.
Okay. I was filming to
talk about the updates
for the podcast and what was coming up next.
It's on TikTok.
And I heard this weird, and YouTube, I heard this weird noise, and I was like...
It's captured. You can actually hear something. I don't know what it is, but it...
And it didn't happen as fast as what's in the video, because I heard a noise, and then I stopped the TikTok to like figure out what the noise was, and then I turned my phone around to film, and I was going to pan the room, but the second I turned it and started the film, my door in my bedroom closed on its own. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. We have that.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was you and your buddy Jason underneath the table.
No, I was home alone.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's hard to get perspective because, like, that
door's like 7 feet away.
Yeah, it's like you can't reach your foot underneath his desk and make it to the door.
Well, I thought maybe it was his buddy was underneath the desk.
No.
And he did that.
And it's across carpet, so it's not like a breeze or anything will push that closed.
No.
Like, you have to actually physically pull it.
But it could be faked.
I also know you as a prankster.
Yeah, no.
And you said that to us, and I'm like, God dang it. And that's why I think I said text is Jason underneath the desk?
Yeah, no, it was...
I meant that as a joke, Jason, nothing about you.
It freaked me out. Like, I was like... I had a hard time sleeping that night. I'll just
So you can't see this on TikTok?
I have no explanation for why that happened. Fast forward a couple weeks.
I have no explanation why you're still there if that happened, but go ahead.
Because he doesn't believe in the afterlife.
Well, and I don't really have a fucking choice because I don't make enough money to live anywhere else.
He's literally the reason why horror movies are made, like The Conjuring. They didn't have the money to leave, so they had to deal with it.
Yeah. Sure got a great deal on this house.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
So, a couple weeks later, fast forward, Jeremy's over.
Somebody was too busy to film with us, but something making money with customers. I don't know. So it's just me and Para-Chum. And I'm going to take this one over because this was like a more personal for me. So
I'll want it out.
Yeah, want it out. So we're sitting there, and Para-Chum looks down the hallway and saying, "Well, I'm seeing something." So I put my phone up, put my microphones on. So I got those TikTok mics that actually work pretty decent,
pretty well
for my phone. So I put one in the living room and one next to us, and we're talking, and there's some B-roll on TikTok about it here and there. And no, this did not get captured on film. That's why I'm talking about the microphone.
Okay, because
the interesting thing is,
I was getting ready to ask that.
Everything that you filmed that night on your phone, your iPad, my computer will not recognize it. It says files corrupted.
Yeah, we tried transferring everything over so he'd have it. Because there's a lot of stuff we filmed. The actual event we missed because I get up to go use the bathroom. Which, like as we're sitting out that way, if you watch the video, you have his door. I'm sitting right next to him. I can see the door, hallway straight down. The bathroom's like the first door to the right. I get up to go use the bathroom. Open the door. And for whatever reason, I didn't close the door. I left the door of the bathroom open so you had a light source. When I step out and look, I see my microphones flashing red, meaning that they're dead.
Yeah,
they're disconnected and dead. So I go grab the one from the living room, bring it back, grab my phone, grab the mic, pulling them off so I can get them charged. Now, I just came out of the bathroom. And when you step out of the bathroom, the light comes right behind you, puts your shadow right on the wall.
Yep.
As you step out, you see it. So I sit down. I'm messing with the phone, trying to get things plugged in to charge the mic so I can get it reset up. And I'm looking, and there's a head and shoulder shows up on a shadow onto the wall, just like somebody was standing in the bathroom trying to look into the room.
And then just takes off.
Well, Larry then turns to me, and I'm like, and it literally shoots down the hallway at super speed. And Larry's like, "You saw that, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw that." So I get up, I go, because honestly, Larry's like, "Did you lock the front door?"
Yeah.
Just in case somebody came.
That's what I thought.
No.
Like someone had gotten in.
And that's so. And this is then we went into a deep discussion. Was that a shadow person? And I'm like, no, that was not a shadow person.
That was a shadow.
It was a shadow. A shadow person generally has some mass to it, like
It's some kind of three-dimensional.
This
was on the wall.
On the wall, and it was about a 5'8", 5'7" person. When I walk out of the back, I could literally recreate the shadow, other than I'm higher than where it was. That's how I know the height. Clear as day shadow, and then down the hallway, and I'm like, and motherfucker, I didn't have my camera set because my microphones were dead. It was pointed and would have caught it perfect, but like.
And then I was like, "Hey, did you lock the front door when you came in?" And you're like, "No." And I was like, "Would you mind going and locking it?" And he's like, "Why me?"
It's not my house.
He goes down there and he goes back and he's like,
"It just felt
it didn't
weird.
feel right. Like something felt weird."
Well,
What do you mean it didn't feel right?
so
I mean, explain
remember,
it because
okay, that's fair.
So we get it.
Yeah, so
people don't understand that.
When there's been a couple times that we have stuff happen. And it's not like a scary. So the hair on the back of my neck and the arms start standing up, and it feels like something or someone
is watching
you or near you. Not necessarily like dangerous or wanting to hurt you, but you get an off feeling that like you're not alone in the area. And usually for me, the hair on the back of my neck will start tingling. Depending on how strong, will go up to my scalp. I'll feel it down my arms if it's really powerful. The hair was like up the back of my neck and a little bit on my arms. I'm like, nothing there. Doors shut, locked it, windows.
But your body's reacting.
It was reacting to something.
It's the same.
It's not the atmosphere.
It's the same feeling.
It's your body.
It's
like an antenna.
Like an antenna, or walking through like closest thing like. Do you remember those old static generators where you put your hand on, make your hair stand up? That type of feeling.
I'm sure it's the same feeling that people, when they go over to Diddy's house, they get feeling something wrong, something not right.
Yeah. You just had to throw that.
I just had to throw that.
Similar to when I went to go check the bathroom and the bedroom here, I had a very similar feeling of like.
Would you say that was worse, or my apartment was worse? Feeling like
I would say about the same. Like it just felt like somebody was
next to you.
Yeah, there.
Okay, stop that right there. So saying what you said, saying what you just said, what you're talking about, and the same kind of feeling you had there, do you think is something that he brought over, then went back to the apartment with him? Is it the same? Are you putting those two things together?
No. Now that I said that, I could see where there could be a possibility. Mm-hmm. Other than whatever was at Para-Chum's place cast a shadow. I truly think had we been able to see into the bathroom, we would have seen someone, a full body apparition.
Yeah.
Really?
That's how I felt.
Or could you just seen the shadow of that apparition, like we've seen, like there's a presence there, but we can't see it, but we can see the shadow it's putting on the wall, like we seen in some shows.
It was very well defined.
Yeah, it literally looked like me walking out of like a solid mass, like a person
That's crazy.
Blocking. It wasn't a light gray.
But if you can see with your eye, it doesn't mean it wasn't there. But maybe you're just seeing the shadow reflecting on it. Whoa.
Do you think that, because you had recently just come out of the bathroom, do you think we could have seen a time distortion slip of your shadow coming out of the bathroom.
Because it's too short.
Not with his body reacting the way it reacted.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why
your body be comfortable with your
reason why
presence.
I just laughed, because I laughed because when I went into the bathroom that time, I checked behind the shower curtain.
I know. You tell me you always do that.
I always do that because he leaves the shower curtain.
I leave my shower curtain closed.
So I'm getting ready to, go stand peeing up, and I'm gonna have my private parts of my hands. I don't want something to attack me, so I just pushed the shower curtain. I don't uneasy feeling, opened it up, just like okay, there's nothing there. Peed, washed my hands, went out, and like I said, and then it was less than 5 minutes. But it literally, the shadow was because when you see some videos, like there's a dark mass that doesn't look like a shadow, like it's a shadow figure, but that looks like there's some 3D dimensions.
Yeah. No,
This like you've seen, like you could see a beard. There's some different. This was a shadow,
something blocking the light,
and that's why like we were talking back and forth. He's like, "Was this a shadow demon or a shadow creature?" And I'm like, "Dude, I really feel like had we been able to see it right around the corner, it would have been a full body apparition."
And thank you for unlocking a fear, because now I keep my shower curtain open all the time.
You're welcome.
But
Trying to keep you safe.
I mean, that's traumatic for you, especially when you're by yourself and who knows what you're doing. That it's probably watching you.
But no, but it didn't.
No. Let's be honest. We know. We've seen your laundry.
But no, let me.
Let me finish.
She's got one more thing.
Yeah. Let me
Just
have
one more question.
Let me
one
have
more
my
question.
Let me have my 13 questions. Why you always gonna be the center of attention? Why?
We haven't gotten
Why?
to the.
Why is it always gonna be you?
Wait till you find out everything in his house, and you're like, oh, that kind of makes a little sense why he's getting fucked with all the time. Anyways.
Not only
Oh, fuck it. Go ahead, Larry. No, go ahead. Step on my parade. Go ahead.
I didn't cut you off.
Oh,
He did.
No, go ahead.
I don't know what I was gonna say now.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
He stuttered him. He's like,
When I was a youth.
So what were you saying, Dave? Gee.
Oh no, I know what I was gonna say.
Oh, now. That was perfect.
Roll with it. Roll.
No.
Roll. No, roll.
And I think JD.
Germany has nothing to do with
Shout out to Brussels.
We
Thank you for listening.
will corroborate this with me. It didn't feel negative.
No.
Nothing in my apartment has ever felt negative.
So, why wouldn't that be a time slip of you then? Not just because of the height.
So, I didn't go that way. The shadow went away from the room. I went towards the room. My shadow went with
Did you ever go in that direction at all? Before you investigated?
So, yeah, because when I stepped out, I looked, saw the mic was flashing, went to check the one in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Grabbed it, living room, and it's all one area.
I love that. I love the hypothesis. Did I say that right?
But the problem was, so I stood there,
Naked.
looked both ways, noticed the mic, went to check the other mic, grabbed that mic, came back, grabbed that. So if the shadow had left and then came back and then came into the room, then I would say, okay, that's a time slip. Possible time slip.
But how?
So we can't. I'm gonna say we just can't throw it out. The only thing I would say is probably not. And
We tried to debunk.
Making kind of sense, kind of thing.
We tried. There's no way for lights from a car pulling up. We tried. Mixing.
It threw us off mentally. It was like a mind fuck.
Well, of course it puts you off. Absolutely, that's terrifying, and especially if your body reacted the way it did. But so back to my thing: was the atmosphere like electrically charged? Did it feel heavy? I know places where I feel a presence, it feels heavy.
No,
right?
that's the deal. It didn't necessarily feel heavy.
I didn't feel threatened.
No, and that's what we had the conversation about. It wasn't like utmost terror. It was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Like, plain as day, moved. I went and like I said, when I walked out there, it's no different than when I walked over here. You get that little bit of static, like something's off, but it's not heavy. You know, like there's some places that you like feel almost depressed or something. No, walked out
or
there
scared.
Static, or that's
They're terrified.
Fight or
flight or flight. But that's what you bring.